Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are reacting to Nightwish. Oh my gosh, we've had so many of you request it, specifically our viewer Martina. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. They told us that a great place to start with Nightwish is this performance of Ghost Love Score. It's from 2013, so it's a little bit back, but we're really excited to react today. This is our first time hearing Nightwish. We know that there's a lot of impressive things that are going to happen, so we cannot wait to get started.
Absolutely. If you're new to our channel, we are Chase and Melia, and we love singing. We just want to talk about singing. We want to have you talk about singing, and we want to explain anything that we see down to a technical level that you might be able to apply to your own voice and singing. So we're going to be stopping a lot. It's going to look a lot like a lesson might. If, you know, any lessons that we've had, this is kind of what they looked like. So if you are interested in learning about singing or talking about singing, we hope you enjoy this video.
All right, so before we hit play, we just want to let you guys know this is a totally blind reaction. We have never, not once, heard Nightwish, at least not that we know of. So
I believe reading in comments or something that the lead singer is a lady, and she's also a vocal coach.
It's a lady. Oh, I didn't expect that.
See, I'm making
We
stuff
have
up.
no
I have no
idea.
idea. Anyway, and it's like kind of metal,
Right. That's what
singing.
I'm
So
expecting.
you know, being classically trained, we're
Right.
going to tell you right now, we have almost zero. We have zero
experience
experience with growling or any of that kind of type
Screaming.
of singing.
Yeah.
And I'd be really interested to know, you know, some people say that you can do it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So I'd be really interested to find out.
Absolutely. I'm super excited. Let's take a listen.
I love double bass. Ooh.
There's a lot.
Sounds like a huge production too. Good orchestration. Well, it's got two bass lines. Unless it's one. Looks like it's got two bass lines. Okay, yeah.
Wow.
This is our cat Jack, and he's gonna join us.
Wow.
What do you think? What do you think?
So it reminds me of Evanescence, and I hope I don't offend
Oh my
anybody
gosh.
by saying that.
Yeah.
Like, if they're like, no, it sounds something like Evanescence.
Yeah.
I think even just like the obvious part
It's
of it.
not
Like
even
it's a
a-
female singer singing in like rock.
Sure.
But her style too. It's like a very like classical is the wrong word, but she is like singing in a very I don't know.
So that's what
Classical way.
I was gonna say is that no, it's not like the music is the same as Evanescence and stuff like
no.
that, but how she sings, beep, beep, you know, it's clear, it's full, it's sweet.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and it's a big contrast to the music around it
Orchestration,
and the
absolutely.
orchestration around it. And I think
Yeah.
I think she's really
Her
good.
voice is really lovely. Like so far. I mean, obviously we don't know what to expect.
very sweet.
Yes, but it's really nice. I really like her voice so far.
Yeah. So she's singing in English, and English is really difficult to sing in. There's a lot of ugly sounds that happen in English, and it's, you know, the ers. What was the one she just did? She did afterwards, afterwards.
Yeah.
It's not afterwards, right?
Should hang out on that R.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a vowel thing. You know, if you've been here on the channel at all, you'll know that most of what we talk about is air and vowel.
Yep.
So afterwards, she's made a choice to sing that vowel instead of afterwards. So watch out for that if you're ever singing in English.
So I believe she's Swedish. Is it Sweden?
Please let us know down.
Finland.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. But yes, so you can tell that she has an accent too. But I still think, like, we've said this a few times because we listen to a lot of people we listen to a lot of people whose first language is not English. And we talk a lot about how a lot of times they sing in English better than even Americans do because of the taller vowels in their native language. I don't know about Finnish being a very tall
I would
language,
even just say, like, when you're learning how to sing something in a foreign language, you also focus on sounds a little bit more than you would if you were like a natural speaker.
No, I think this is really interesting.
Yeah, I think she's using a lot of really good techniques, specifically with her vowels.
Absolutely, yes. Vibrato.
For you. Yeah. She really, I just think that she's doing a great job of showing us how to form your vowels on long phrases.
Absolutely.
And for, that's one vowel the whole time. For you. It's not you, right? And people change the vowel.
Right.
She's singing one vowel per section.
These phrases are also very long and like a lot of legato, and I think that she's using a lot of great breath support.
Totally.
Because those vowels are coming through so well too. Like she's sending her energy through the end, and so she doesn't go to tune.
Things are clicking.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I know a lot of our like deers that are watching are going to be like, well, Dimash is way better than
Dimash is way better.
But at this point, I would say, I mean, you're right. There's nothing like truly like incredible about what's happened so far, but I believe that what I like about what I'm hearing is it sounds like she's singing very healthily. Like I hear some really beautiful like phonation. Like here her vocal folds are totally closing and she's singing in tune. I like it a lot. What do you think?
I think she's singing really well. I like how full and it looks like she's just giving it air and forming her vowel and going through the phrase really musically. And that's it. That's all, at least that's all I look for whenever I'm singing or whenever I'm like trying to listen to anybody else sing. Yeah. You know, in regard to the whole Dimash thing and who's the best and whatever, you know, saying that somebody's the best singer is just a really huge waste of time. Yeah. People fight on the internet just nastily about who the best guitar player is or who the best bass player is or who the best whatever is. Are. Yeah. And it really does. It can be your favorite, and that's a great thing. But to say that they're the best in the world and there's no question about it, and if you don't think it's like, it's really silly.
Right. No, I'm excited. I know that we have a lot of people who are fans of Nightwish, and this is only the beginning.
So far I'm enjoying it.
I know,
sure.
Me too.
Love it.
Something is about to happen.
Siren from the deep came to me, sang my name, my Lord. Still I write my songs about the dream of mine, worth everything I may ever
she lost a little bit of the color down there.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
think
about to
that-
ask about that.
I'm sure in her, I don't know, but it seems like she might be more comfortable in her higher range. And I felt like there was a little bit of, like you could hear people are going to say it's called staccato. It's not staccato. That's not what we're talking about. There is a little bit of like breaking in the air. And what I mean by that, she's not sending the air all the way through. So you kind of hear her like waver a bit.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that what I heard was a contrast of her breast support.
Absolutely,
so like
yeah.
when she was up super high, it was really full, but this one was kind of unsupported. And I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but I know exactly how this feels.
Yeah.
When I'm singing lower in my range, it's almost like I'm using more air, or it's like so much easier because it's like where I speak,
Right.
that I can't send my air as consistently as I normally would. And so I think that's what threw off her vibrato a little bit.
Right.
Was that it's not just a consistent flow of air. If you
Right.
have like a ton of air and then you're pulling back because you don't really know how to, how to manage it down there very
Yeah.
well, your vibrato can be thrown off, your intonation can be thrown off.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know exactly how that feels.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, especially like it's such a different part of her register.
Yeah.
Like, and it's the first time you're hearing it in this song.
Well, you have a wild low range. I don't. I sing high, and that's where I
And that's where
kind of
you live,
live.
yeah.
But if I have to sing low stuff, I struggle a lot.
But that's actually the interesting thing about voices, right? Like, we are not like an instrument where there is a set range and everything is the same,
Yeah.
Each person's instrument is uniquely different to them. People can have similarities just like anything, but our literal like anatomy is different, and that makes our instrument different, and then how we use it is different too. Cool fact, Melia.
Love it.
Child will be born again, that siren carried him to me. First of them true loves, sitting on the shoulder.
First of them true loves. That's a difficult like phrase to go up and down, and you can kind of hear it changes like first she's so pure and like going through and she kind of loses a little bit of that lowness, don't you think? Do you want to hear that again?
I think, yeah, I'd love to hear it again.
First of them true loves, sitting on the shoulder.
So
Do you
I feel
hear?
like this, because it's like that lower range thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
She's lost a bit of the phrasing she
Yeah.
had, and I think that that's tough in your lower register. I think it's
sure.
exactly what we were saying before, where if you're using a lot of air, it's hard to have a clear phrase.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that's what's going on here, is
Right.
that she's going through and she doesn't have the same kind of phrase intention with her air that she does at those beautiful high points.
Absolutely. I think that's also ultimately what we're saying is it's like you can hear this incredible resonance and brilliance in her voice up in those higher registers, and it feels like she kind of loses it a little bit.
Do you think that the resonance is different? Because I wouldn't. I would say
Really?
that she sings with the same kind of full, clear sound.
Yeah.
But the support of the breath to make it consistent, to make your vibrato more consistent, to
Yeah.
do all those things, and intonation and
Right.
have a nice phrase, a musical phrase. You need that air.
I feel like, I guess for me, I'm saying resonance as a byproduct of lack of air.
Sure.
Like
Sure.
it's because
It's not the same,
it's
yeah.
not the same. And it's not going to be the same anyway because your resonance is going to change in your range. So I get that that's a little bit strange
good
to
point.
say. But I feel like maybe just the clarity. Maybe I'll use
Yeah.
that word. Like I feel like her clarity is what changes. Yeah.
Sitting on the shoulder of an angel without care for love
Where's she going?
I love her guitar.
I know. I just love live music.
Yeah, I love live music.
Cool.
This is a serious event.
This is insane, this whole production.
The guy just licked his hands and then stuck it in his eye. That was interesting.
She disappeared.
I'm reacting to that.
I know.
I'm like, huh.
I'm wondering, okay, let's bet. Costume change?
Ooh.
Person change? Like, is it gonna be a different
Costume
boat?
change. I think you're absolutely right.
So interesting.
I think the music's really interesting.
I know, it's almost cinematic.
Yeah.
It's like theatrical,
It's like a
cinematic.
Yeah, I
kinda...
could hear it in a video game.
Absolutely.
Or like, totally.
Just a little intermission. No costume change.
Maybe there's a encore. This could be in like our theater. That was a really tough key change, and she
I know.
nailed it. Oh my gosh.
I also really love what she's doing here. It's way more like strong.
Aggressive,
Yeah, and aggressive.
yeah.
She's also using some really like cool vowels.
Yeah.
Like I have to find the example, and it just really works. Dark. She's
Yeah.
not singing dark, right? Like
Not
the word is
dark,
dark, but
right?
she's like dark.
Dark.
And it's
Absolutely.
just so nice. Like that sounds
Absolutely.
really good. She's using a bit more of her chest. Like
Yeah.
that's a really cool
I'm
mix.
really impressed with her vowels.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, if you want to know how to sing in English with good vowels,
Oh my gosh,
this is a
watch this.
great video.
This is the tutorial.
to do that. Exactly.
For sure.
Well, because it's already hard. It's already
probably
really hard.
speaks English,
Love
like,
in the
like,
dark.
great.
But we speak English,
I
and I
wonder if
have
it's
to, you know,
even-
all of my students speak English,
yeah.
and I have to. We talk about this stuff all
That's
the time.
true. I think that it's really important to, because that's a stylistic choice. Like that wider, brighter vowel.
Dark, yeah.
Dark.
Fits
It's
the
kind
song.
of theatrical, like we've been talking about. Like it fits metal and all that stuff. But it's also really efficient. It's beautiful
Yeah.
and efficient. Let's talk about that. That was a much darker vowel. Like that was a much more like
Yeah.
like it was almost operatic.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, totally.
Compared to what she was doing just before that, I can absolutely see her being a voice teacher.
Yeah,
Do you think
totally.
she's a voice teacher?
Well,
Like, didn't
yeah.
somebody say that? That she's like a voice
Yeah,
teacher or something
yeah,
like
that's-
that?
yeah.
I can really see, you can tell that she has an understanding of the voice. Which, I mean, a lot of people do, but I just feel like she's doing really interesting things.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool. It's like, it matches with the music that they've written.
Absolutely.
Right? She's singing in one style.
Right.
And now she's coming and doing a different effect with her voice.
It's similar to what Dimash does in a lot of the
Oh,
things that we've
totally.
seen, how he changes like characters and
Totally.
stuff. And I don't think I don't know that that's necessarily what's happening.
I'm not
here,
even
but
sure. Is this 2 songs? Like, is this one
That's
song?
true. We
is
don't.
this 2
We have no
songs?
idea.
I literally
I think it's
don't
one
know.
song. Ghost Love Score. It's a whole work. It's a score.
I'll have to do some research because that is pretty cool.
That's pretty crazy.
I love, some of our friends are composers and the whole multi-movement thing, and
Yeah, that's actually really interesting.
yeah.
Maybe it is like that.
one of our friends is writing contemporary music. You know, he's not writing choral pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
But he loves the multi-movement that's like having one section of music that sounds similar, and then that breaks just like this did into a different section of music that sounds a little different. So we would call that kind of movements,
which is a classical style of arranging music. And this is obviously not classical, but this is it seems very similar to that.
Yeah, totally.
All head voice here.
What do you think she's doing then? Woo! That was really lots of air.
It was very
really
tall,
floaty, kind of the back of your head. That's a great warm up too, especially if you're a female. I used to do that with a lot of the women's choirs. We would do that first thing in the morning. Woo! Big, lots of air, really floaty and high.
Yeah.
But then she goes, wow! And she really brings it back in.
Absolutely. I think that's where you find like that speaking part of chest mixing, right?
Sure.
Like, so she's like almost like, hey, 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 right? Like, and that's probably also where it is in her voice too. Like she's really, that mix at that point is a lot more chest.
Yeah. If you've never seen that that warm up or that exercise, you go, hey, hey, hey.
Yeah.
And you do that kind of 3 times. And you try to figure out, like, if you're trying to reach the other, someone's trying to hear you on the other side of a loud room, but you're not trying to yell.
Right.
Like, there's a difference.
Yeah.
So give that a shot.
That's cool.
Now she's doing little foot warm-ups. Got it. Now she's got the whole crowd doing it. This is some serious musicians. All these pieces.
It's like the beginning. This is totally all one.
Surprise. That was a different style of singing you, right? Before
Okay.
she was woo. This is right?
Yeah.
So it's another way to sing the same word. And it's really interesting. This is a totally different feel and emotion.
Well, and this is like the theme has returned to from the beginning.
Yes.
So this is definitely one large piece of music.
Yeah.
But this is so theatrical.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you think? Yeah.
Well, it's just like what we're saying. It's movements.
It is,
And that's
yeah.
really,
It's really
interesting to see in, contemporary music.
Right.
It's super cool.
that burst. She's bright.
After this big
Oh my gosh.
head voice phrase.
She jumped from being in her head voice, takes a big deep breath, and then like has this perfect mix on that note. That's just so beautiful.
And that's tough. If you've ever been a person who is singing and you do really well singing in your head voice a lot, and it sounds really beautiful and all that kind of stuff, and then you try to belt or do some kind of bringing that
bring your chest
voice to your upper register. That's very difficult. And it's a completely different like way to use your voice.
And she was very in tune.
And she's she's good at both.
She is,
which is really cool.
And I mean that's what's cool. Just like how Dimash does it, like you switch like within phrase.
Oh yeah,
it's like all one piece
and
of
music.
Morissette,
like Morissette when she floats up and then comes back in and then goes up in that same range with her chest voice is amazing.
For sure.
Yeah, it's.
That was really cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So we can already kind of tell that people are going to say some stuff in the comments about how we hate Dimash or we hate Morissette, but we love Nightwish and we didn't nitpick them and we're just against. And, you know, honestly, in my opinion, this was a fairly simple song to sing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that doesn't make it easy, but it's like simple. She used a couple like very, you know, solid techniques and foundational stuff, and she did it very well. And so there wasn't a lot for us to really try to tear apart. And also, you know, we're not trying to tear anything apart. We're just talking about the things we hear, and we're not gonna, you know, shy away from one thing or the other.
Absolutely. I think that the thing with what Morissette and Dimash do comparative to this performance is they're like, it's very impressive, right? They're trying to do something that's very impressive. So they're doing a wide range.
And Dimash is singing over like 3 octaves.
Exactly. And it's also unique that he sings as high as he does as a male. This performance, she is just using her instrument in a place that obviously she does the best. Like they're writing the music for her. She is like a master of this type of singing. And while it might not be super impressive, you know, like it's not vocal gymnastics like we talk about a lot, it is very technically and artistically beautiful. Like there is a lot of beauty that's happening in this performance. So I think that that's hard because you can't really compare apples and oranges. And ultimately, what we want to take away from this is how is she singing like this? Do we think that she's singing with a good, healthy technique? And what can you take away from what she's done in this performance? Absolutely. And ultimately, if you're watching this as a singer, maybe a singer that loves her, there's a lot of really great things you can take away from this performance.
She's a great singer to love.
Absolutely. She's a great singer to love.
If you've been around the channel at all for a while, you can go check out our videos. We actually haven't been doing reaction videos for very long in regard to the length of our channel. But we read the comments. So when people say we're being overly negative and all that kind of stuff, that is something we think about. We don't want to teach from a negative perspective.
Absolutely.
But if you've ever had a voice lesson, you can say that somebody's flat and it's not a negative thing.
Absolutely.
It's a thing that you want to talk about how it's happening, why it's happening,
how to prevent
it, all that kind of stuff. It's not, you know, every singer in the world sings flats sometimes.
Yep.
You know, the best singer
all of us,
in the world, you know, whoever holds that title.
Exactly.
To you has sang flat and will sing flat again. It's just part of the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do take that to heart, and we're not trying to nitpick. We're just trying to break it down.
Absolutely.
Look at the techniques.
And I think that, like we just said, like if you're a singer that wants to sing better, and a lot of us have idols and people we look up to and people we want to sound like, and while we caution you from trying to completely try to replicate somebody's voice, you can definitely take away things from their technique to apply to yours. So for example, I would take her vowels and breath support.
Yeah.
What else were you saying? Like her legato, the way that she moves through phrases is really, really beautiful and good.
Hopping from one vowel to the next is really clean as well.
Absolutely. And so I think that all of those things you can take into your own practice and your own study and then still have your own voice. You might have similarities and obviously like you'll approach it in a similar way, but then you're not just trying to sing like her, which could ultimately hurt you or could ultimately, hold you back.
Yeah, my voice teacher says only that person sings like that person.
Absolutely.
So, she sings like herself, and that's why it sounds so great and free and open and so don't try to sound like her. You can sing like her. You can sing with good vowels, good phrasing. You can take the vowels that she's singing and say, okay, I'm going to sing the vowel like that.
Yeah.
But don't try to sound exactly
like her.
Because you're manipulating your voice to sound like somebody else.
Yep.
Sound like you. You have a beautiful voice.
You have a great voice, just the way it is. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this reaction, and we can't wait to react more. I know that this is an older performance, so I'd love to hear her more recently. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We make videos like this every single week. If you like this video, give us a like and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.